Thousands of California prison inmates suddenly found their prison sentences shortened this weekend, thanks to a change in good behavior credits. The shift in how those credits are calculated stems from Proposition 57, which California residents voted for overwhelmingly in 2016 and upheld in November. 63,000 California inmates have been convicted of violent crimes. As of May 1st, the rate of good conduct credits for those inmates increased from 20% to just over 33%. In other words, they will receive 1 day of credit for every 2 days served. Previously, 1 day of credit would equal 4 days served. This change includes nearly 20,000 inmates who are serving life sentences with the possibility of parole. Jennifer Volan-Katz is the executive director of John Howard Association, an independent citizen correction oversight group that monitors prisons for conditions and treatment of people who are incarcerated.
People have this idea that if we let people out of prison any sooner than their original sentence, we're going to compromise public safety. And I think it's really important to understand that both research and experience show us that that's not true.
More than 13,000 inmates are serving time for nonviolent crimes for a second or third offense under the state's 3 strikes law. They will now be awarded 1 day of credit for every 1 day served, allowing them to be eligible for release after serving half their sentences. Also, all minimum security inmates in work camps, including firefighting camps, will be eligible for 1 month of early release for every 1 month they spend in camp, regardless of the severity of their crime. The changes were approved this week by the State Office of Administrative Law with little public notice, and they were submitted and approved within a 3-week span because they are considered emergency regulations. A Corrections Department spokesperson released this statement saying the goal is to increase incentives for the incarcerated population to practice good behavior and follow the rules while serving their time and participate in rehabilitation and educational programs, which will lead to safer prisons. The department made no other public announcements on the changes. Volan-Katz says a key part of this process is preparing the inmates for reentry.
The way the state of California has done this, they will have time to make sure that people, get their state IDs and can enroll in Medicaid and find affordable housing.
Meanwhile, 2 prisons are closing because the inmate population has dropped from about 117,000 before the COVID-19 pandemic to about 96,000. But part of that reduction is because about 10,000 people were being held in county jails. Proposition 57's emergency regulations went into effect yesterday, but the department must submit permanent regulations next year. That's when there will be a public hearing with an opportunity for public comments. Many Democratic lawmakers and advocacy groups have been calling for further releases or shorter sentences. Last month, the group Californians United for a Responsible Budget said the state should shutter at least 10 more of its 35 prisons. Aaron.